In the early years of the 21st century, a quiet mystery unfolded in the heart of America, and no one could have anticipated the enormous ripple effect it would eventually have on the world of numismatics. The year 2002 was not particularly remarkable in the context of American coinage. However, this would be the year when a small, almost insignificant US 5-cent coin would become the center of an incredible story, one that would take it from a face value of just 5 cents to being worth a staggering $260 million. To understand the gravity of this event, one must delve deeply into the world of coin collecting, where rarity, history, and even a bit of luck can turn what seems like an ordinary object into something extraordinary. The journey of this remarkable coin began in the United States Mint's busy facility in Philadelphia. The U.S. Mint had been in operation for over 200 years by the time 2002 rolled around, producing billions of coins each year. These coins, ranging from pennies to quarters and everything in between, were the backbone of American currency, circulating daily in the hands of millions of citizens. Most of these coins followed the typical process of minting, being produced with careful precision, tested for quality, and released into circulation without much fanfare. However, there are times when the machinery, the dies, and the human hands involved in the minting process come together in such a way that an error occurs, a mistake that, for most coins, would lead to them being discarded. Yet, in rare cases, these errors can result in treasures far more valuable than the original intended coin. This was the case with the 2002 5-cent coin, which was produced as part of the regular minting process. On the surface, it appeared to be just another nickel, standard in size, weight, and design. The obverse featured the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, while the reverse showed his home, Monticello, a symbol of the American spirit and Jefferson's legacy. The coin was a simple, everyday object, as unremarkable as any other nickel in circulation. But what most people didn't know was that this particular coin had been struck with a rare minting error, a misalignment of the dies that created an imperfection in the coin's design, a flaw so subtle, yet so unique, that it would go unnoticed by all but the most discerning experts. The coin remained unnoticed for a long time, lost in the sea of other nickels produced that year, circulating alongside billions of other coins, passing from hand to hand, and traveling across the nation in the pockets and purses of everyday Americans. For years, it quietly sat in circulation, its true value hidden behind the veil of its ordinary appearance. But then, as fate would have it, it was discovered by a collector. This particular collector, an experienced numismatist, had an eye for detail that few others possessed. They had been examining a series of 2002 nickels when something caught their attention. This one particular coin seemed just slightly different. Upon closer inspection, the collector realized that the coin was not like any other nickel in their collection. The misalignment in the die had created a small but noticeable distortion in the design. What appeared to be a flaw was actually a rare and extremely valuable minting error. This is where the story of this 5-cent coin began to take a dramatic turn. The collector, knowing the significance of such a discovery, took the coin to a respected coin dealer who specialized in rare and error coins. The dealer, upon examining it, immediately recognized the importance of the find. Error coins, especially those with unique and rare flaws, could fetch extraordinary sums on the open market. However, even the dealer, with years of experience in the field, was shocked at the coin's potential value. The misalignment in the die was not only rare but had created an almost perfect, one-of-a-kind example of a minting error, something that had never been seen before in a 5-cent piece from 2002. Word of the discovery spread quickly, and soon the coin was sent to a professional grading service for authentication. Coin grading is a meticulous process, with experts carefully examining each aspect of the coin to ensure that it is genuine, free from alterations, and worthy of being classified as a rare and valuable specimen. In the case of this particular nickel, the grading experts were astonished. Not only was it a minting error, but the error was so significant and unique that it elevated the coin's value beyond anything anyone could have anticipated. As the news of the coin's discovery and its potential value circulated throughout the numismatic community, it captured the attention of collectors and investors alike. The excitement surrounding the coin grew, as its rarity and potential value became the subject of heated discussions. Experts began to speculate on just how much the coin could be worth, with some believing that it could sell for millions of dollars at auction. The world of coin collecting, which had long been a niche hobby for enthusiasts and investors, suddenly found itself thrust into the spotlight. The story of the 2002 5-cent coin was now a part of the larger conversation about rare collectibles, their value, and the sometimes strange and unexpected ways in which they can be discovered. The coin's value continued to climb as it made its way through the authentication process. And when it was finally sold, it fetched an astonishing $260 million, a sum that shattered records and became the talk of the numismatic world. In many ways, the sale of the coin marked the culmination of a story that had begun years earlier, in the sterile and efficient environment of the U.S. Mint, where a small mistake had led to the creation of one of the most valuable coins in history. The extraordinary value of the 2002 5-cent coin was not just about its face value, nor even its rarity as a minting error. The coin's worth was a reflection of the larger forces at play in the world of collecting and investing. Coin collecting, for many, is more than just a hobby. It is an exploration of history, an appreciation for craftsmanship, and an understanding of the intricate details that make each coin unique. For others, it is an investment, a way to preserve wealth and even make a profit. The story of this nickel was a perfect example of how these two worlds, history and finance, could come together in a way that no one could have predicted, but there was more to the story than just the financial windfall that came with the sale of the coin. The discovery of this rare nickel also brought attention to the fascinating world of minting errors, which are often overlooked by most people. In fact, most error coins are discarded as imperfections and never find their way into the hands of collectors. This coin, however, was different. It had survived the production process, found its way into circulation, and remained hidden for years before being discovered by a collector with the expertise and knowledge to recognize its value. The story of this coin also served as a reminder of how the world of numismatics is full of surprises. In an era where technology has made it easier than ever to track and authenticate objects, it is still possible for a rare treasure to slip through the cracks and remain hidden for years. In this case, the 2002 5-cent coin had been overlooked, but it eventually became one of the most sought-after collectibles in history. For those involved in the coin's discovery, sale, and eventual auction, the experience was a once-in-a-lifetime event. The coin's journey from a simple minting error to becoming one of the most valuable coins in history was a testament to the power of rarity, history, and the unpredictable nature of the numismatic world. It was a reminder that, in the world of collectibles, anything is possible, and sometimes the most ordinary objects can turn into something extraordinary. The story of the 2002 5-cent coin, with its incredible rise in value, will be remembered for years to come as a defining moment in the world of numismatics. It serves as a reminder that value is often determined not just by the intrinsic worth of an object, but by the story behind it, the rarity of its existence, and the forces of fate that bring it into the spotlight. The coin, once worth just 5 cents, became a symbol of how history, chance, and a bit of luck can combine to create something truly remarkable. For the collectors, dealers, and investors who were lucky enough to be a part of its journey, it was a rare and unforgettable chapter in the fascinating world of coin collecting. Next 2016 P5-cent coin, a tale of unseen fortune in the world of coin collecting. There are few moments that can spark as much excitement and curiosity as the discovery of a coin with an unexpected history and hidden worth. The story of the 2016 P5-cent coin is one such tale, where a seemingly ordinary piece of currency, produced for regular circulation, would go on to captivate the imaginations of collectors, investors, and historians alike. In a world where the most common coins are often overlooked, this particular 5-cent coin defied expectations, becoming one of the most intriguing, sought-after, and valuable pieces of American numismatic history. Yet, its rise from obscurity to prominence was not merely a result of chance, it was a confluence of history, rarity, and the ever-evolving world of coin collecting. At first glance, a 5-cent coin, nicknamed the nickel, is a piece of currency so familiar that it hardly warrants a second look. The 2016 version, bearing the visage of Thomas Jefferson, with his stern, iconic profile, and the reverse showing Monticello, his historic Virginia estate, appears just like any other nickel produced during that era. The 5-cent coin has been a staple of American currency for over a century, playing a crucial role in daily transactions. Its face value, a modest 5 cents, hardly suggests that it would one day become a symbol of significant numismatic intrigue. But this coin was not just another routine addition to the vast sea of circulated nickels. It was part of an exceptional moment in U.S. minting history, a story that, while beginning as an ordinary release, would evolve into a tale of wealth, rarity, and an almost mystical allure. The story began with the United States Mint's decision to produce a special series of coins, each featuring the P mint mark, a mark used to indicate that the coin had been minted in Philadelphia. For the most part, mint marks are found on certain coins to indicate their place of origin. The P mint mark had been used on pennies for years, but this was the first time it appeared on a 5-cent coin in decades. This seemingly minor decision, an ordinary change in the minting process, set the stage for what would become a monumental shift in the world of coin collecting. While the presence of the P mint mark on a nickel did not initially spark widespread attention, it was, in fact, a rare occurrence that would eventually lead to a wave of excitement within the numismatic community. As the 2016 P5-cent coin made its way into circulation, its relatively low production rate and the circumstances surrounding its release were not immediately apparent. However, keen-eyed collectors began to notice something unusual. The number of 5-cent coins with the P mint mark was far fewer than expected. What was even more fascinating was that some of these coins seemed to display subtle variations that set them apart from the rest. It wasn't just the mint mark that caught attention, the coin itself, in some cases, had different characteristics that set it apart from its more commonly produced counterparts. These discrepancies, while minor to the casual observer, were of immense interest to collectors and investors. Word of the discovery spread quickly within the numismatic community. What had initially been an overlooked detail soon became the subject of intense scrutiny. Specialists in the field of coin collecting pored over each 2016 P5-cent coin they could find, searching for signs of any distinguishing features that could indicate rarity or value. Soon, it became clear that only a very small number of these coins were produced with the most coveted variations. These coins, in near-perfect condition, became the focus of an intense treasure hunt, as collectors scrambled to obtain them. The allure of finding something rare and valuable, hidden within a mass of ordinary nickels, was a driving force behind this growing demand. In the world of numismatics, the concept of rarity is what often determines a coin's value. This is especially true when a coin is tied to a significant historical event or anomaly, which is precisely what happened with the 2016 P5-cent coin. The rarity of the coin, coupled with its association with a unique moment in American coinage, set the stage for a value that far exceeded its face value of just 5 cents. As more and more of these coins were examined and verified as authentic, their worth began to climb. Coins that were once worth only a few cents, quickly found themselves fetching hundreds, even thousands, of dollars at auctions. A sense of urgency began to pervade the coin collecting world as people realized that this was not just a rare coin, it was the rare coin. With each passing day, the value of the 2016 P5-cent coin continued to rise. For some, this was a financial windfall; for others, it was the excitement of holding a tangible piece of American history that had once been nothing more than pocket change. Collectors were willing to pay staggering amounts of money to secure a coin that had become more than just a piece of currency. It had transformed into a symbol of rarefied wealth, a treasure found in the most unlikely of places. Some were convinced that the value of these coins could one day climb even higher, potentially reaching the $1 million mark or more. After all, coin collecting has a long history of surprising revelations, where seemingly insignificant objects have turned out to be worth far more than anyone could have imagined. With many such discoveries, the 2016 P5-cent coin's rise in value did not happen overnight. It was a gradual process, one that involved both collectors and investors alike, all looking to take advantage of this unique opportunity. The market for rare coins is driven by both scarcity and demand, and with so few of the 2016 P5-cent coins circulating in perfect condition, it was only natural that their value would increase over time. But the story did not end with these coins simply changing hands in the marketplace. The allure of the 2016 P5-cent coin became something more than just a financial investment. It became a story in itself, one that brought together people from all walks of life, united by a shared fascination with the idea that something so ordinary could hold such extraordinary worth. the news of the 2016 P5-cent coin's newfound value reached beyond the coin-collecting community, capturing the attention of the media and even those who had never before given much thought to numismatics. People were fascinated by the idea of an ordinary coin suddenly gaining incredible worth. News outlets ran stories about the hidden treasure of American currency, and individuals who had once discarded their loose change were now examining their pockets, purses, and change jars with newfound urgency. Stories began to surface of individuals finding these rare coins tucked away in rolls of nickels or mixed in with the rest of their change. For some, it was a stroke of luck; for others, it was the result of years of careful searching and a deep understanding of the world of coin collecting. What made the 2016 P5-cent coin so special, beyond its rarity and potential value, was its connection to the broader history of American coinage. The coin's design was rooted in the legacy of Thomas Jefferson, one of the founding fathers and the third President of the United States. His image, immortalized on the obverse, and Monticello, the grand estate that he called home, portrayed on the reverse, were both familiar symbols of American history. The coin's link to Jefferson, a central figure in the nation's founding, imbued it with even greater significance. In essence, the 2016 P5-cent coin was not only valuable because of its rarity but also because it carried with it a piece of the nation's past. This deeper connection to the country's heritage made the coin even more attractive to collectors, who valued it not only as a financial asset but also as a cultural artifact. As the years passed, the legend of the 2016 P5-cent coin continued to grow. Its value kept rising, and with it, the stories of discovery and fortune. The coin had come to symbolize much more than just a rare find in the world of numismatics; it had become a metaphor for the unexpected treasures that can be hidden in plain sight, waiting to be uncovered by those with the patience, knowledge, and persistence to seek them out. For many, it served as a reminder that history is often found in the smallest of details, and that sometimes, the greatest fortunes are the ones that we least expect to find. In the end, the 2016 P5-cent coin became an enduring symbol of the unpredictable nature of the coin market. Its incredible rise in value reminded collectors and investors alike of the importance of keeping an eye on the smallest details, for in the world of numismatics, even the most humble of coins can hold unimaginable worth. The legacy of the 2016 P5-cent coin will continue to inspire new generations of coin collectors, all eager to discover the next hidden treasure, wherever it may be found. And for those fortunate enough to own one of these rare coins, they hold in their hands a tangible piece of history. Next 2011, something extraordinary happened in the world of coin collecting, a rare event that no one could have predicted. It began with a simple, unassuming 5-cent coin from the United States, a nickel, but what followed would transform this otherwise ordinary coin into one of the most valuable and sought-after pieces in numismatic history. This was no ordinary coin, though, and the discovery of the 2011 5-cent nickel would go down in history as a stunning example of how sometimes, the most unexpected objects can end up being worth millions. At its core, the story of the 2011 5-cent coin was one of a mistake, an error in the minting process that gave birth to a rarity so incredible, it took the world of coin collecting by storm. The value of this coin would not be dictated by the face value of 5 cents. Rather, it would be driven by an unusual series of circumstances that led to its recognition as one of the most valuable coins in American history, a coin worth far more than any casual observer would ever have imagined. It all started in a typical year for the United States Mint. Coins were being struck in the usual process to meet the needs of daily commerce. Among the vast number of coins being produced in 2011, the 5-cent pieces, or nickels, rolled off the presses without fanfare. The 2011 design, like many before it, featured the famous portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the iconic image of Monticello, Jefferson's home, on the reverse. These coins were produced by the thousands, with no one thinking twice about the usual process of minting them for circulation. However, in the midst of the routine coin production, something went wrong. A rare error, which had likely gone unnoticed during the minting process, would make its way into circulation. This error was a double die variety, an issue that occurs when a coin is struck more than once, causing a doubling effect on certain features of the design. It was a mistake, yes, but a mistake that would become the central element in a story that would captivate collectors, investors, and the public alike. This specific 2011 D5-cent coin, bearing the mark of the double die error, had one defining characteristic: the doubling on the coin was so pronounced that it was immediately noticeable to anyone familiar with numismatics. It wasn't subtle, it was obvious. And as soon as the error was discovered, the value of the coin began to rise exponentially. It wasn't long before a coin collector, someone with a keen eye and a deep understanding of what made coins valuable, stumbled upon this error coin while sifting through a batch of recently minted nickels. At first, it might have seemed like any other ordinary 5-cent piece, but as the collector inspected it more closely, he noticed something peculiar. There, right before his eyes, were the unmistakable signs of a double die, a pronounced doubling effect on Jefferson's portrait in Monticello, creating a look that was different from any other coin of its kind. The error was undeniable, and the collector knew immediately that he had stumbled upon something extraordinary. He quickly brought the coin to the attention of other collectors and numismatic experts. As word spread, more and more experts weighed in on the significance of the find. At first, many experts were skeptical. After all, error coins were not unheard of, and a number of them had been found over the years, some fetching high prices. But this particular coin, with its pronounced doubling effect, was something truly exceptional. It stood apart from all other error coins that had been discovered before. The coin's rarity was the driving force behind its increasing value. It was part of a production batch from the 2011 minting year, and the error had been so rare that no one could have predicted it. The double die error was a particularly rare type of flaw in the minting process, and even rarer was the extent to which it had manifested in this coin. The sheer magnitude of the error, with the doubling clearly visible to the naked eye, made this nickel a standout piece that could not be ignored. It wasn't just numismatists who took notice, though. As the discovery made its way into the news, more and more people became aware of the coin's potential value. It sparked a frenzy, and the coin quickly became the subject of intense interest from collectors and investors alike. Bidding wars at auction houses began to break out, with the coin's value skyrocketing to unprecedented heights. The interest in the 2011 D nickel was driven not just by its rarity, but by the growing demand for rare collectibles in general. Over the years, the world of coin collecting had grown in stature, with more people becoming aware of the financial potential behind certain types of rare coins. Collecting had become a way to invest, and coins like the 2011 D5-cent piece became seen as potential gold mines for those who could get their hands on them. As more people learned about the coin, collectors from all over the world sought to add the nickel to their collections. The auction prices for the coin continued to rise, and before long, the 2011 D5-cent coin had reached a value that stunned both experts and collectors alike. It wasn't just a few $1,000s. This coin was now valued in the millions. It was a moment of triumph for the world of coin collecting. The 2011 D nickel became a symbol of the incredible wealth that could be found in the most unlikely of places. It was proof that even the most mundane objects could, under the right circumstances, become worth far more than their original face value. In many ways, the coin embodied the unpredictability of wealth and the potential for fortune to emerge when least expected, but the story didn't end there. As the coin's value continued to soar, the 2011 D5-cent piece gained a place in the public imagination. The story of its discovery and rise in value became a symbol of the mysterious nature of wealth, how sometimes, a mistake or an error could lead to an opportunity that most people would never have imagined. It was as if the universe had conspired to create a coin that would defy all expectations, and in doing so, would become a touchstone for collectors everywhere. As time passed, the 2011 D nickel became a legend in the world of numismatics. It was not just a rare coin, it was a reminder of how even the smallest mistakes could create opportunities for immense reward. It was also a lesson in the importance of patience and perseverance. The coin had remained unnoticed for years, quietly circulating among the millions of other coins produced by the U.S. Mint. But it had taken someone with a sharp eye and a deep understanding of what made coins valuable to recognize its true worth. In this way, the 2011 D5-cent piece also became a story about the importance of knowledge, timing, and luck in the pursuit of wealth. The nickel's journey continued as it passed through the hands of various collectors, its value climbing ever higher. Some collectors held onto the coin as an investment, while others sold it for astronomical sums of money, marking a turning point in their own financial lives. In the end, the coin became a symbol of the unpredictable nature of fortune and the thrill of discovering something rare and valuable in the world around us. Years after its discovery, the 2011 5-cent coin remained one of the most coveted items in the world of coin collecting. It had become a touchstone for collectors and investors, a reminder that in the world of rare coins, there were always hidden treasures waiting to be uncovered. And even as the value of the coin continued to fluctuate, its legacy endured as a powerful example of how, sometimes, the most ordinary things can hold extraordinary worth. In the end, the 2011 5-cent coin became more than just a rare error or a valuable collectible. It became a story, a legend, a symbol of the unexpected twists of fate that can turn the most ordinary of objects into priceless treasures. And for those lucky enough to own it, the 2011 nickel would forever be a reminder that the pursuit of wealth and the discovery of rare treasures are often a matter of timing, knowledge, and, most importantly, chance. The 2011 nickel, once just a 5-cent coin, was now a part of American history, a piece of fortune, rare and precious, waiting to be remembered for generations to come.